Beautiful souls. I was really pulled today to talk about mediumship and psychics and healers and how we all work, and to share a little bit more on the spirit dimensions. Every single medium and spiritual leader, teacher, psychic, healer, we all work very differently. None of us are the same. We all have different ways of connection and being able to get into the spirit worlds, and we all have our very own relationship with spirit. And that relationship for me is constantly changing, and it's always developing. No two sessions are the same. I see things differently, hear, know, sense very differently with every single session. And part of the reason for that is every spirit that I connect to has a very different personality and a very different energy and their own way of communicating. The other reason for that is I have this amazing trust bond relationship with them. It can come to me in any way that they want to send it. The angelic realms are the same. Everybody's spirit guide is very different, and it feels very different every time I tap into that. Now, the spirit dimensions don't feel the same as the physical world. They don't look the same, sound the same, they don't feel the same. So, going over to the spirit dimension always has a very unique way and a unique feeling for a reader or for a spiritual healer or leader. Now, when you go see a medium or a psychic or a healer, it's really important that you do go open. If you arrive to see me closed or blocked, or even really hardcore skeptical, what happens is your energy is blocking. You're not allowing, and you do have control over that on what you're going to allow someone to tap into, because it's all energy. Now, that being said, you don't have to feed the information either. You don't have to feed it, but you do have to be open enough to allow. Spirit can't come through if you're not willing to talk. It's very much that simple when you're seeing a medium. The other thing is with the psychic stuff, and I prefer angels and guides and angelic guidance, but sometimes somebody will ask me a question to ask their angels and guides some future stuff. And sometimes it does come up that a spirit guide will say, you're not meant to have that knowledge in advance. It's part of the journey and part of the lessons. A lot of the times, the angelic realms will come forward and give you advice to pick up, or will tell you things or give you a heads up or a warning so that you can prepare to make different choices on your journey. But it's not 100% guaranteed. And it's also not 100% guaranteed that a medium can channel a specific loved one. I always tell my clients to prepare themselves for a session, to ask for a specific spirit to come through, or to ask for some certain life guidance, to set some intentions before coming, because it does help open up. It does help us connect that way, but there's no guarantee. There's no medium that has a phone access to say, hey, can you send mom through? This is who we need to talk to today. It doesn't always work that way. And the reason for that is sometimes a spirit that needs to come through really needs to speak to you. Or perhaps there's some healing work between you and a specific spirit. The other thing that quite often happens in a reading is sometimes the spirit will come through that you connect to kind of indirectly. You're meant to be the messenger. You're meant to pass on a message to someone else's loved one, or to relay. You're part of the spiritual work. And it's always quite glorious when that happens, because not only do you get a session, but you're able to help somebody else as well. Now, when it comes to psychic mediums and being able to channel, it does help to understand before you book with that person how they work. It truly does, because I think it's important to know that we are all very different, and how we channel is very different, and how the information is given is very different. None of us are the same, and no two spirits are the same. So it does kind of help to have that information, and to kind of go in with no expectations or demands, because we truly don't have that ability to command spirit and demand that they come through. The other thing that's really important is you have to be ready. You have to be ready to sit with someone. You have to be ready to go for a healing session, because if you're not ready, and then you're not open. And when you're not open, it's very difficult to go deep into the dimensions. Yeah, we can hit the surface, but we can't go deep into that and really kind of channel what you really need to hear if you're not allowing, because we do have choice in that. Working with spirit has been, the most amazing journey that I've been on, and I have learned so much about mediumship and about healing in the angelic realms. And one of the best things, the most deepest advice I can give you, is to make sure that you go in open-minded, open heart, willing to hear, willing to grow, and your session will be glorious. It will just be glorious. I also need to touch base a little bit on the healing aspects. When you go in to see a healer, it's really important that you do go in open for the healing. The healer does do a lot of the work, but you and your intentions have to be involved as well. It's just so important that you understand that, so that you are getting the best experience possible when seeing a healer or seeing a medium, that you are open. I do hope that you found this a little bit more helpful, and some tips to help you connect when you're in your sessions. I am wishing you a spirit guided day. Please like this video, and I will be posting some more very soon.